So just a quick one before we talk about hypervisors, let's look at virtualization. Almost every part of IT infrastructure right now can be virtualized. Starting from, we do have server virtualization, desktop virtualization, hardware virtualization, storage virtualization, network virtualization, and even application virtualization, as we mostly know. Virtualization has been with us for pretty a long time, starting from 1960s, and as well as we know that in the 1970s, Goldberg and OPEC actually codified it. So it has been with us. Now, in the olden times, the way it sort of worked was that one server will support one application. So if you want to have one server to support storage, you have one to support storage. If you want to have one to support network, you do have one to support network. And as we can see, it means that if we do have a data center, it's going to be extremely hardware intensive. And we saw, or they saw, that they were not optimizing the use of these servers, right? So that is where we got virtualization from. And in order to use virtualization effectively, then we can't talk about this without talking about hypervisors. So hypervisors in the past were known as virtual machine managers or supervisor of the supervisor, right? So basically, it's a software which will abstract hardware resources from a virtual machine, right? So we've already talked about the need for us to be able to effectively use, for example, a server, right, by creating virtual machines. Now, the hypervisor is going to be that software that will allow you to run multiple servers on a single host. So let's say if you have a single host, which is a server, and then you want to run multiple multiple servers, right? Using this single host, right? Then the hypervisor will sort of be that gatekeeper, which is going to allow you to run. So, for example, maybe this can be for your storage, this can be for your apps, this can be for your network, and this one can be for your desktop, as we've already looked at. Okay, so basically, there are two types of hypervisors, and we do have the type one, and we have the type two. So for the type one, it's sort of sit on a physical server. So if you have a physical server, the type one hypervisor will sit on it, and which will allow you to have a guest OS, right? So this will be our hypervisor, and then we'll be able to install any operating system on it, and then you can have your virtual machine sitting on top of it. Now, the way it works with the type 2 is that with the physical server, right, you will have the operating system already, your OS, and then your hypervisor will sit on top of your OS, and then will allow you to create a guest OS, for example, and then your virtual machines. And part of the few ones that we know, the popular ones will be the VM, where the VMware, XC. We also do have the Zen, and we have the Microsoft Hyper-V, right?